Okay, hello all. I want to finish up our notes from 10.2. And so make sure you look at this before class. All right, so tau equals 8. We'll just get right into, this is page 4 of your notes, the 10.2 notes. Tau is 8. Delta is, remember now we're looking at tau and delta. So delta is 17. And so they're both positive, and then tau squared minus 4 delta is -4. Make sure you check back over my work. I am not error proof, so I can make mistakes. All right, so it looks like here we're going to have what? Looking at that chart, we're going to have, or looking at that list we talked about, we're going to have an unstable spiral. So yeah, let's look at the list because I want to show you how to create those images that's on the chart so you'll be able to create them. All right, and so here, remember, well, let's find our eigenvalue. So lambda is, remember, tau plus or minus the square root of tau squared minus 4 delta over 2. And you should end up with 4 plus or minus I. Remember, we only look at the real part to instruct us on what type of solutions we have, or the graph of the solutions. We know it's going to be a spiral. It's going to be circular because of the cosine and sine, because this is a complex solution. But this 4 will tell us if we're going away from the origin or going toward the origin. And because it's positive, we know we are going away from the origin. So that's why it's going to be an unstable spiral. And the way you want to do this, so let's draw our graph. And I'm going to, in terms of, so we don't even have to necessarily find the respective eigenvector. You can, but you don't have to, because all you need to do, we just want to know what direction the spiral is going in, and meaning clockwise or counterclockwise. So what you can do is this. You can look at, I'm going to go, because I know the values that I want, I'm going to go by 2s, 2, 4, 6. All right, and you can fill out the rest. I won't waste time filling out the rest of the graph. And so I'm going to look at a point 1, 0, or the vector 1, 0, I should say. So that's our vector 1, 0. And I'm going to take, so if we take the matrix and multiply by 1, 0, then whatever this ending vector will be, so in this case, we'll get what, 6, 5. Then if we go to 6, 5, you don't have to plot it, but if we were to look at 6, 5 on our graph, it would be what? Counterclockwise, right? Because if we're looking at it from, oh, I didn't want to erase, no. We're looking at it from 1, 0. So if we're looking at 1, 0 and looking at 6, 5, then it's going counterclockwise. Okay, since our point is since it's up, right? So it's going counterclockwise. And so in terms of our solution, then we just draw some spirals and draw an arrow to signify it's going away from the origin. Okay, and that's how your solution will look. Okay, so again, we just wanted to, this tells us if we're going counterclockwise or clockwise, and so our solutions are going counterclockwise. Okay, and that's all, and that's how we get the shape of our spiral. Okay, let's look at D. And so in D, again, so just go back and check my work to save time. I believe tau is -2, delta is 1, and then tau squared minus 4 delta is going to be 0, which tells us we have a repeated, right? Lambda is -1. And so since that's less than 0, that tells us that we are going towards the origin. So we do need to find an eigenvector here. We didn't have to find one in the complex case because we knew that it's going to be a spiral. We just needed to know what direction it was going in. Okay. And so here, and I'm going to, so let's look at our graph. And I'll just go by ones. Okay. And let's find to find our eigenvector, like I said in class, we go back to the first method that we use because we're not doing determinant A minus lambda I. I guess technically you could, but that would just give you extra work to do. And what you'll find out, like I said again, is that a lot of these, and in this case, you'll find out that one equation is going to be a multiple of the other. And so I want you to pause the video and check to make sure that your eigenvector you receive is 1, 1. Okay, so our straight line solution, whoa, vector going through, how I missed my notability for this to draw the straight line, but that's not too bad. This is lambda equals -1. And we said since it's negative, we know it's going, again, because we know that because it's really e to the negative t, right? That's how C1 e to the negative t is how times this is how it would look. And when we talk about behavior, we're looking at t as t goes to infinity for the long-term behavior. And so it's going to go toward the origin. Okay, because that's really, remember we talked about that. That's really 1 over e to the t, which we can easily see that that's going to 0. Okay, so here we have, and so we just have this, so we have one vector. So we pick another one, so the method that, sort of the first method that we're used to, and we can use that method in terms of looking at these solutions. And so just pick another independent, linearly independent vector. So I like 1, 0, and 0, 1 when they're available. All right, so 1, 0 is here, right, which is the x-axis. All right, and again, solutions are going towards the origin, so I'll put arrows going towards the origin here. And this is sort of follows like the saddle. It just follows the arrow, so keeping in mind too, I think I talked about this in class, that your solutions aren't crossing straight line solutions. And so if you're in that region, so if you're in this region, your solutions will remain in that region. Okay. But here, they're all going to look the same. They're all going to be going towards the origin. Okay. Sort of running alongside the two solutions, right? And that's what we talked about, right? So the two straight line solutions. Okay, just to give you another one there. So that is what we call stable nodes. Okay, and I think there's another method your book uses to look at the nodes or to look at the solutions. And if you want to use that method as well, you can look at that, but this is fine. Okay. All right, so finally, now going back to understanding that graph of the discriminant, right, where we talked about those different options. Okay, so remember this graph that we talked about in class, which you should put to memory, and it's not really difficult to remember. And we talked about this in class, so I won't spend too much time on it. But basically, to get the information or to determine or to classify your type of solution, you just can look at your t and your delta and then your discriminant as well. Because as you know, if you are greater than 0, then you're in the outer regions here, 1, 2, or 3, right? In region 1, I called it 1 on in class. And if you're equal to, tau square is equal to, so that's our repeated case, then you're actually on the parabola, right? You are this parabola here. And if you are less than, so if you're complex, you're inside here as one of these spirals, or the center when alpha, when your real value is 0. Okay. And so let's classify and finish this up. Let's classify our remaining B, C, and D. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, first, let's get our matrix together. So that's -5, 2, 3, -7. And a good practice would be pause the video and actually go through this yourself to see if you get it correct, and then just come back and double check. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you did actually pause the video and not just writing down notes randomly. Because if I made a mistake, you need to let me know, because you never know. I could have made a mistake on purpose or not, just to make sure you're paying attention. But anyway, so for B, tau equals -12, delta is 29, tau squared minus 49 is 28. So we have tau is less than 0, delta is greater than 0, and tau squared minus 28 is greater than 0. So I know that because tau squared minus 4 delta is greater than 0, I'm going to be in one of regions, something involving 1, right? And when I say 1, I mean looking at the Roman numeral, because those represent our tau squared minus 4 delta greater than 0. But then tau is less than 0 and delta is greater than 0. So let's see, tau is less than 0. So that means I'm either in quadrant 2 or 3, and delta is greater than 0. And so that leaves me here. And so over here, we see that I have a stable node. Okay, so this is a stable node. All right, so pause the video and determine the remaining ones. All right, welcome back. C, you should have said unstable node. And then D, you should have said a stable spiral. Okay, and that is pretty much it. If there are any questions, make sure you write them down. You can, well, first I would say if there are any questions, look in the book, because I sort of gave you the notes, overview of this and not everything in detail, because I want you to, go to the book if there's something that I'm not making clear. But if you can't find it in the book, then definitely keep those questions. And on Wednesday, or when we review for the final, you can ask those questions or send me an email. Okay.